Sunday afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Central Oregon Shenanigans. Today, I'm just going to be updating you guys on everything. I've been getting comments about asking about this and that, so let's start with the Bronco. I haven't really done much with the Bronco except for explore the fuel cap, the pressure in the tank. Somebody commented, it's probably your fuel cap. Release it and see what happens on how we end up hydro-locking the Bronco. And they were correct. We have a bad vent in the tank. So I bet you right now, the heat, when it gets hot and cold, it builds pressure in the tank. I've got it blocked off right now. I've got the fuel lines pulled and clamped off so that it can't. I should just probably leave the fuel cap off till we fix that. So we're going to be ordering a new fuel tank for this truck this winter. Basically, the Bronco right now, it needs a drive line. The rear drive line's horrendously bad, or the angle is not correct. So we need to order or get a drive line made. I still have power steering problems. With the Bronco. We haven't fully got power steering yet, and I'm going to try one more time draining all the ATF that I've been using ATF for that system. Drain the ATF out, actually getting power steering fluid, which is crazy because I've always used ATF in those pumps, but who knows. I'm going to go ahead and bleed that out and see if that works. So one more time, try one more time before I replace the steering box in it. The 6-liter in front of us went on. I think I've filmed one time on it so far. I bought it 2 days before going on vacation, pulled my boat 6 or 7 hours one direction, and it was a complete disaster on the way there. I thought I blew the motor up. I know. Everybody said, oh no, buy a 6-liter. It wasn't the 6-liter's fault. It was lack of maintenance. Having a vehicle for 2 days and then deciding to go on a vacation, long road trip, was probably not the smartest thing on my end without checking it over really well. But I ended up blowing up my coolant recovery tank. Somebody had done an oil change. I think I talked about this in a previous video already, but did an oil change on it, and they leaned on the bottle, cracked it. I didn't see the crack until it was too late. Pulling a grade, hot, heavy, and I was going up on I-84 outside of Pendleton. There's this nasty climb, and it switches back and forth, and about halfway up it, I looked down, and my gauge was spiking. So I lost over 1.5 gallons of coolant. Papa and I got it taken care of, got it cooled back down. I haven't had any problems, no head gasket signs of blowing a head gasket over that. We got into LeGrand. I replaced the coolant recovery tank, and we went on with our trip. But I have noticed at low speeds, pulling heavy loads, she's getting warm. My coolant fan, or my fan's not kicking on. It kicks on and barely spins. So I need to replace the clutch fan coming up on this. And I also blew the intercooler boot. I think we also talked about this. Coming up on, we're going to do a complete upgrade. We're going to go all aluminum pipes. They have plastic piping on the cold side coming out of the intercooler to the intake of the engine is actually a plastic pipe. And I was pulling a grade, and I was giving her some love, and I heard a big whooshing noise, and I lost half my boost. So we're going to be doing, that's going to be coming up on the channel for the 6-liter. I'm also doing brakes on it today, possibly. The rear pads are crap. Front are brand new, the rear are crap, but eventually we're actually going to be doing all new discs, and we got to get in there and adjust the emergency brake on this old girl because she does not hold very well. Like on this slanted driveway, she would run away if she wasn't in gear. That's pretty much it for the 6-liter. So we got some videos coming up on that. We got some videos. We do not have any videos coming up on the Expedition. I haven't decided whether to have a professional body shop fix the dent or do it ourselves or take it to a family friend. I haven't really decided yet on that. So yeah, it's going to, I think it's just going to go to a body shop and get it fixed that way. Something's got to go eventually, and I'm having a hard time I don't want to get rid of the Bronco. I don't want to get rid of the Expedition, but I have too many vehicles, and I'm leaning towards getting rid of the Expedition sooner than later, maybe after summer. I got to get the dent fixed. I'm not going to sell it that way. I'm going to make sure it's all ready to go, cleaned up, and yeah, if anybody is interested in our Expedition, the 4BT swapped Expedition, I'll let you know if it does become available. It's not for sale as of right now, but I'm really leaning towards, I've got it. My wife's giving me an ultimatum. I've got too many trucks, so I have to get rid of something, and it's done. The Expedition, literally the only thing we have left to do on the Expedition is air conditioning, and I might sum that up, wrap it up before we send it down the road to a new owner, or I might just liquidate it at a cheaper price and not do the air conditioning. But it's pretty much the only thing it needs is the air conditioning's not hooked up and the cruise control is not hooked up. So everything else is working, functioning, running great. It does have a power steering leak. It needs a new line built for that. I don't know if I'll get around to doing that or not, but I would rather keep the Bronco. These are between those two, the Expedition and the Bronco, and I really don't want to get rid of the Bronco because I haven't really got to play with that thing yet. So yeah, and I built the Expedition originally for my wife to cruise around in, us to have fun with. She doesn't like it, so she'd rather drive her 7.3 flatbed that I built for her. So that's her truck, and then it's like, well, Daddy needs a truck. I gotta have a truck. She works a lot, and I'm like, I don't want to have to borrow Papa's truck all the time. And that's why I bought my 6-liter. I absolutely love it. I really enjoy driving the 6-liter versus the Expedition. The Expedition's really cool to cruise around town in and get people to turn their heads, and it gets phenomenal fuel economy, but at the end of the day, I can't hook up a frickin' trailer that weighs 10,000 pounds and pull it. The transmission just absolutely doesn't like it. It gets hot. It'll do a 4,000 pound load pretty easy, 4,000 to 5,000 pounds behind it, but I pulled the tractor on the flat deck trailer, and I only went 5 miles maybe from one property to another property, and the transmission was already up to like 210 degrees. And I'm like, yeah, this isn't working. And she was huffing and a puffing. So I don't regret doing the swap. I like the swap. It's an awesome vehicle. It would be something cool to hang on to, but I just financially doesn't make sense, and I want to move on to another. I want to move on to the Bronco. I want to get the Bronco done. It's a little bit more rare than the Expedition, even though the Expedition is pretty rare with 4BT, but I'm rambling on about the Expedition. I haven't made my mind up yet, and you guys will know by the end of summer what's going on with the Expedition. My wife's 7.3. We need to do a lot of front end work, and I also have some injection fuel issues. I know the fuel bowl's been leaking for a while now, so I've got to do a lot this winter coming up on that. The $200 truck, the transmission is still right here. It hasn't gone anywhere. I have got some tools on the end that I need to put away, but as far as organization with the transmission, I've got my core parts over here, I've got my main parts over here. I've already gone through that video. We picked out the parts we were going to use. I just need to pull the trigger and order it. I haven't had time, went on vacation, so that's coming up real soon. I'm thinking after Kyle's new truck gets painted, Kyle's got to jump on getting his white 4BT done and out of his shop and have something to drive, because we're going to be really having to bite the bullet here. If everything works out, John Fox from the Fox Shop's coming down to paint Kyle's truck at the end of August. It looks all promising at this point, but Kyle and I have a lot to work to do. We're going to get to work on that new $800 truck of Kyle's, a single cab. I think that's everything is, let's see, I got a 92, 94, I think that's a 94 or 95 F-150 single cab lifted 4 inches or 6 inches on 35s that we just picked up wrecked. That's going to be Kyle's new kind of daily. His 4BT F-150 is going to be his play weekend truck. He actually uses 2 trucks during the week, because he actually drives to work, leaves a pickup, and then needs a pickup at home. So yeah, he'll be using both trucks as dailies, if that makes sense. But yeah, so we got to get that done and prepped and ready for paint by the end of August. So we're going to really be moving into getting that truck ready soon, sooner than later. But yes, so as far as the 4BTF 150 goes, Kyle ordered a turbo, and I said, and his cousin's like, dude, that's too big of a turbo. This monster turbo shows up in the mail, and I'm like, Kyle, you're gonna hit like the end of your RPM range before the thing is even gonna spool. So he's got to reorder a turbo, and that should be really close to being doing some exhaust work and getting some videos of it running and driving finally. So that's my Sunday update. Oh, we're knocking. So we're gonna knock Kyle's 300 inline 6 truck in the head, and then we're gonna rip all the parts we need for the $200 truck and the single cab truck. And then whatever's left over, if anybody's local that would be interested in parts, we'll talk about that when we get there. But we're gonna probably send that down the road as a rolling chassis. Pretty sure it'll have an M5OD and an inline 6, so I'm not 100% on that yet, but keep an eye open for that video down the road. I think we're out of vehicles to talk about. Yep, so hope everybody's doing some cool projects this weekend, staying cool. I know most of the country's been going through a heat wave. We haven't seen that here, thank goodness. We've had hot summers in the past, and I'm over it. So big shout out to John Fox Shop. You don't know who he is, go check him out. This end screen button, it looks like that. Click on it, go check John out. Tell him I sent you. And we'll catch you next time on Central Oregon Shenanigans, guys. Don't forget to hit that like button. Comments go down below. Turn on that notification bell. Subscribe if you like what you see. There's a lot coming up this year, at the end of this year and beginning of next year. So it's going to get interesting here. We got some 6-liter stuff to do. Never thought I was going to be working on a 6-liter, but here we are. So until next time, guys. See you here.